Live, local, late breaking. This is WMBF News at 4.
I want to caution everyone, this will not be a fast process. I want to caution everyone, this will be a slow process.
Governor Henry McMaster providing an update this afternoon on how the coronavirus vaccine will be distributed here in South Carolina. Straight ahead, why he says it's important for South Carolinians to remain patient.
Plus, as Myrtle Beach is placed in the red zone for new cases, county leaders made a decision about face masks in the area. Catherine Phillips joins us with reactions from officials and health experts. Thanks for tuning in to your own local news at 4 o'clock. I'm Meredith Heline. You probably woke up to frost on your car this morning. I know I almost had a little bit of snow. There was so much frost on there. But our First Alert weather team says it's not going to be quite as chilly going into tomorrow. Chief Meteorologist Jamie Arnold starts us off this afternoon with his certified most accurate forecast.
And Meredith, this morning's temperatures, well, they were rock bottom. So you know what that means. From here, well, we start heading up. In fact, we saw a little bit of a warm up this afternoon. Yesterday, we were stuck in the 40s. Today, we've made it all the way up to 57. That's our high temperature so far for the day. We will start heading down here shortly, but again, not as cold as what we saw last night. We're still going to keep 30s on the map, but we're keeping the 20s out of the forecast. So we're keeping temperatures above freezing across the Grand Strand. 39 tonight for Myrtle Beach, 38 in North Myrtle. So not much of a frost concern on the beaches, although likely some patchy frost as you head inland. 35 tonight in Conway, 36 in Marion, 35 for Florence. But then we really start kicking the warmth in here as we head into the day on Thursday. Afternoon temperatures climbing their way towards 60, flirting with 70 by the time we head into the weekend. I'll take a closer look at that in our next risk of rain coming up.
Moments ago, Governor Henry McMaster wrapped up a news conference that lasted more than an hour. It focused on COVID-19 and the vaccine distribution in the state. WMBF Investigates reporter Madison Martin has been closely following that vaccine distribution plan in our Forging Ahead series. Madison, what were the key takeaways that the governor and health officials addressed?
Yeah, Meredith, Governor McMaster was surrounded by state health leaders with DHEC, and they all had that same message. The vaccine distribution will be a long process in making sure that every South Carolinian receives the vaccination. The FDA is slated to review the Pfizer vaccine tomorrow and could give emergency use authorization to the vaccine. DHEC officials believe that once the vaccine is authorized, then the state will start receiving doses in a matter of days. We first told you earlier this week that South Carolina will receive between 200,000 and 300,000 doses by the end of the year. DHEC leaders warned the public that this is a very limited supply of the doses. They anticipate the state will receive new batches of the vaccine on a weekly basis, but it will still be months before the entire population will be able to line up and get vaccinated.
I want to caution everyone, this will not be a fast process. I want to caution everyone, this will be a slow process all over the country. Most South Carolinians will not be vaccinated for months, so we've got to keep our guard up. Now is not the time to let our guard down.
And as you heard there, the governor cautioned everyone across the state to not let their guard down. McMaster and DHEC leaders pushed the message to everyone to wear their masks and practice social distancing in order to try and slow that surge that we are currently seeing across the state. The governor also listed out exactly who will be receiving the vaccine during Phase 1A. We are going through that list now, and we'll bring you more on WMBF News at 5. In the studio, Madison Martin, WMBF Investigates.
The newest coronavirus numbers from DHEC are in this afternoon, and for the 6th straight day now, there are more than 2,000 new cases of the virus in South Carolina. In all, there are exactly 2,139 new confirmed cases. That brings the total since the beginning of this pandemic to more than 223,000 cases. 140 of those new cases are in Horry County, while Florence County has 86. Greenville County remains the state leader with 345 new cases today. DHEC also says 26 more people have died from COVID-19 in our state. That includes 2 deaths each in Georgetown and Darlington counties. 4,280 people have lost their lives to the virus in South Carolina. The positivity rate jumped back about 20% today, with 20.5%, so it jumped up, of the more than 10,000 test results coming back positive. As COVID-19 cases spike statewide, a new White House report obtained by WMBF News places the Myrtle Beach area in the red zone for the high rate of new cases. This comes as the Horry County Council decided to recommend masks but not require them. WMBF News reporter Catherine Phillips has more on how area leaders in our hospital systems are reacting.
Right now, South Carolina is 39th in the nation for new coronavirus cases. And a new report from the White House to the governor's office shows that the Myrtle Beach area is among the highest in the state. The news doesn't shock Chief Operations Officer for Tidelands Health, Gail Rossiter. Rossiter says they track day by day the trends in the area and have seen the rise in cases coming. According to information the report to the governor's office, the Myrtle Beach metro area was previously in the orange zone for cases. It's climbed into the red zone just this past week. DHEC zip code data shows the 3 areas with the most new cases in Horry County are Carolina Forest, then Conway, and then Socastee. 2 out of the 3 are unincorporated, where there isn't a mask mandate in place. Rossiter says while the number of hospitalizations within the Tidelands health system right now is lower than the summer months, it's still concerning.
So it would be crazy for any of us to think with the numbers going up on the Grand Strand, regardless of the age or condition of them, 8% of them are going to end up hospitalized in one of our community hospitals. So in the last couple of days, sure enough, I mean, it's easy to predict because we've been watching it now. Every spike has behaved a little bit the same.
Back in October, when Horry County Council decided to not go ahead and renew the mask ordinance, cases had dipped before the rise we're seeing now. Now, Myrtle Beach Mayor Brenda Bethune says that she believes all the jurisdictions in the area would be best to be on the same page. Reporting in Socastee, Catherine Phillips, WMBF News.
If you and your family are looking to get tested for the coronavirus, the free testing sites continue this week. Happening tomorrow out in the PD, the Marion County Administration Building will hold one event on East Highway 76 in Marion. That starts at 10 in the morning and runs until 2 in the afternoon. Also tomorrow, Greater St. Stephen's AME Church on High Market Street is hosting a testing event in Georgetown. That starts at noon and lasts until 4. Both of these testing sites are sponsored by DHEC. We now know when the Class 2A football state championship game will be played. The South Carolina High School League announced today the title game between the Marion Swamp Foxes and Abbeville will be held Friday, December 18th, with kickoff scheduled for 6 that evening. The game will be played at Benedict College in Columbia. The executive committee also unanimously approved a motion that if the game can't be played that day, the 2 schools will be named co-state champs. Don't forget, WMBF News is always bringing you the newest information on the coronavirus here on the air and also online. There's a section of WMBF News dedicated to providing you with the latest on the pandemic and its impacts here at home and across the country. Right now, there's a story posted about how North Carolina is reporting a new single-day high of nearly 6,500 new cases of the coronavirus, along with a record number of patients in the hospital with the disease for the 12th straight day. Right now, there are more than 2,400 people hospitalized. For a closer look at those numbers, just click on the COVID-19 tab at the top of your browser. A warning now about this next story. It is disturbing. A man is behind bars this afternoon after police say he shot and killed a dog before throwing its body in a ditch. Gary Floyd is charged with ill treatment of animals. Officers were called to a home on Anna Drive in Longs Monday afternoon, where they spoke with a witness who claimed to see the shooting. That witness says Floyd approached a stray mixed breed puppy in the driveway and shot it, then crossed the street and threw it in a water-filled ditch. The witness also says the puppy, believed to be about 4 months old, was not attacking or being aggressive towards the suspect. Floyd was arrested yesterday and is currently being held at the J. Reuben Long Detention Center. The man accused in the 2018 Vintage Place shootings in Florence, which took the lives of 2 law enforcement officers, is expected to be back in court tomorrow. Records show Fred Hopkins will stand before a judge at 10:30 in the morning. Because of a gag order in the case, it's not known what the hearing is about. Hopkins is accused of ambushing officers as they served a search warrant for his son, Seth Hopkins, at his home back on October 3rd of 2018. Seth Hopkins was wanted on allegations of child sex abuse. Florence Police Sergeant Terrence Caraway and Florence County Sheriff's Office investigator Fair Turner were killed in that confrontation. Fair died weeks later. 5 other officers were injured. The state has already announced its intentions to seek the death penalty against Fred Hopkins. We now know the name of the person hit and killed by a car along Highway 501 in Marion County. The coroner's office has identified that person as 18-year-old Emmanuel Tart of Marion. Authorities were called to the area near Admiral's Loop around 6:20 last night. That's where they say a Nissan hit Tart. South Carolina Highway Patrol says he was walking illegally in that roadway. Horry County crews were called to a commercial structure fire earlier today. These photos of the scene were shared by Horry County Fire Rescue. Officials say the first call for the blaze on Miles Standish Court in Conway came in shortly after 5 this morning. No one was hurt, and the cause of this fire remains under investigation. Today, President-elect Joe Biden introduces his history-making choice for Defense Secretary, a candidate that's already facing a fight on Capitol Hill. Meanwhile, congressional leaders are rejecting the latest White House proposal for a COVID relief bill. NBC's Alice Barr reports from Washington.
President-elect Joe Biden today announcing his pick for Defense Secretary, retired 4-star Army General Lloyd Austin.
He is the person we need at this moment, in my view.
He would be the first black leader of the Pentagon, but faces one more battle first. Already several senators in both parties say they won't support the waiver General Austin would need to serve in a civilian position, having retired from the military less than 7 years ago.
It is important in our system of government that there's civilian oversight, civilian leadership over the military.
The president-elect defending his choice.
I know this man. I know his respect for our Constitution. I know his respect for our system of government.
Biden also selecting Ohio Representative Marcia Fudge to lead the Department of Housing and Urban Development, and Tom Vilsack to again serve as Agriculture Secretary. Before the confirmation fights, lawmakers trading barbs over COVID relief. A new $916 billion proposal from the White House rejected by top Democrats as a bipartisan group of senators works for a breakthrough on a separate plan with a similar price tag, with lawmakers in both parties digging in over key elements.
We cannot leave here unless we get $1,200 for every worker.
Democrats continue to oppose common sense legal protections.
President Trump keeping his focus on the election, starting a new one-word hashtag, overturn, even as the U.S. Supreme Court dealt his cause a one-sentence defeat, denying a Republican ally's appeal to reverse Joe Biden's victory in Pennsylvania. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
As many people look for some companionship during the pandemic, experts warn of an increase of dishonest deals involving pets. We have the scam alert in 3 minutes. A surge in pet scams during the coronavirus pandemic is triggering a nationwide warning from the Better Business Bureau. In today's Consumer Watch, Mandy Gaither explains why and offers some tips for anyone looking to buy a furry friend online.
We're going to have a great time at our house.
Amid an unprecedented demand for furry friends during the COVID-19 pandemic, the number of people falling victim to online pet scams is also soaring. Scammers taking advantage of people stuck at home feeling lonely and isolated. According to the Better Business Bureau, the number of reported pet scams has more than doubled during the shutdown. In the past 12 months, victims are estimated to have lost more than $3 million. That's more than 6 times greater than the total losses reported 3 years ago. That's triggering the BBB to issue a warning for people buying kittens and puppies from breeders online. The BBB says by the end of November, it had received nearly 4,000 scam reports, with many victims saying they sent money but never got the pet they paid for. Months into the pandemic, many states experienced huge surges in animal adoptions. And with demand being so great in some shelters, many people were forced to look for pets online.
My whole family's home from the COVID, so yeah, they have extra attention.
I was jumping for joy. I was so excited. And pretty much couldn't sleep at all yesterday.
If you're looking to buy online, the BBB has 3 recommendations. Number 1, see the pet in person before paying any money. 2, use tactics like reverse image searches and compare prices. And 3, look for animal shelters online that still have fur babies for adoption. For Consumer Watch, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Now, the certified most accurate forecast from First Alert Chief Meteorologist Jamie Arnold.
Well, turning the corner here out of our latest round of cold temperatures after that very cold, very frosty start this morning. We're still sitting at 57 here across the Grand Strand. That is our high temperature for the day. we're going to do even a little bit better than that as we head through the next couple of afternoons. In fact, all the way through the weekend, we're going to continue to see a gradual warm up. Tomorrow, we'll watch those temperatures climb all the way to 60. We're up to 66 Friday, 67 Saturday, 68, flirting with 70 by the time we head into Sunday across the Grand Strand. Similar trend here as we take you into the PD with, again, 60 for tomorrow, and then those temperatures working their way into the upper 60s as we head towards the weekend. However, as is often the case this time of the year, the warmer weather tends to bring with it an increased chance for a couple of showers. Now, the weekend forecast, not a washout by any stretch. I think Saturday we're just fine, but notice by Sunday we do start to see, with those southwesterly winds, increasing clouds and the opportunity for a couple of spotty light showers to blow through here as we work our way through the day on Sunday. And then we may have another rainmaker to deal with as we head into early next week. For tomorrow, though, we'll watch those temperatures starting off at sunrise at 39 for the Grand Strand, 35 in Florence into the PD. Best chance of some frost on your windshield is going to be once you head inland from the beaches. But then we all start a nice warm up. And in fact, as we head towards lunchtime tomorrow, those temperatures under plenty of sunshine climb their way into the upper 50s. There are those 60-degree readings for high temperatures tomorrow as the sunshine continues, and then turning a bit cooler fairly quickly. Also common for this time of the year. Heading towards dinner time tomorrow evening, we'll see those temperatures slipping back into the upper 40s to low 50s. Now, your Myrtle Beach 7-day forecast, going to watch those temperatures hit 66 on Friday. There we are Saturday, up to 67 degrees as clouds begin to thicken up. Couple of showers on Sunday, and kind of a question mark here for early next week. May have a system that brings us a chilly rain on Monday. It may also try to stay just offshore, so we'll have to fine tune that. And then turning a bit cooler as we head towards next Tuesday and Wednesday. Florence into the PD, 60 for tomorrow, well into the 60s Friday into the weekend with a couple of those showers on Sunday. And here too, watching the potential for a chilly rain that may try to develop on Monday.
High surf along the North Carolina coast is attracting some of the world's best surfers this week. And it was a surfer's paradise with 30 to 40-foot waves breaking just offshore that prompted the return of a popular surf competition. Wilson Walker reports.
It was good out there. There's some bombing sets. There's some living legends out there just catching basically anything that's coming through.
It was a picture-perfect day for world-class surfing, and today's conditions did bring out the very best in the world.
Yeah, I was watching Angelo Learson, Kyle Beatty.
Twiggy Bakers, Kailani, Jojo, all the world champions out there.
They put on a spectacular show. Like every Mavericks watching was a mix of exhilarating and horrifying, and those coming off the water found themselves comparing this day to epic years past.
Once, I think it was like 2016, it was like in February. It was like this, just out of control, huge, scary, and I was doing the same thing, sitting in the channel, watching.
I was hoping that I can grab one wave for my country, but I got the one waves inside, small one, but outside big ones are untouchable for me.
I didn't break my board, so I'm stoked.
Also stoked, the spectators who found themselves watching the sudden revival of this famed event.
Yeah, it's a big crowd, but once the word gets out, it's getting more and more popular.
And don't forget, you can still eat outside in San Mateo County.
I mean, that place we just were at across the street, they were serving a lot of people.
So in a year that has not delivered much good news, 2020 certainly delivered at Mavericks.
It's tough with so many variables, especially when surfing is such an international sport, and we can get together and have fun out in the water without our mask on, basically.
Pretty cool stuff. Well, you've probably seen this viral video of a young dog being pulled from the mouth of an alligator. Well, now that puppy and his owner are being recognized for their bravery. We have that story coming up. We need your help to rescue Christmas. In partnership with the Salvation Army, WMBF News is hoping you'll help us get more angels adopted from the angel tree. The Salvation Army says it's had 2,000 angels for people to shop for this year in our viewing area, and it has 100 left. If you already have an angel, your gifts must be returned to the Salvation Army or WMBF News by December 14th. I spoke with one Horry County angel who shares his Christmas letter to Santa with you.
Santa, can you give me an Apple phone and toy cars because you are joyful and you bring presents and you make people and kids happy? Well, Frankie.
That doesn't warm your heart. I don't know what will. If you want to help kids like Frankie and be, like he says, joyful, adopt your angel today on WMBFnews.com. Click Operation Rescue Christmas under the Community tab to pick your angel online. Trending right now, the 4-month-old Florida puppy that was pulled from a gator's mouth in a viral video has been named a deputy dog with the Lee County Sheriff's Office. They did this today. Ashley Dyer has the story.
Sunday morning in Southwest Florida.
5-foot alligator comes up out of nowhere.
You're watching Richard Wilbanks rescue his puppy from the jaws of that gator. He was taking a walk with his wife and Gunner, Bloody Mary in hand, cigar in mouth, when all of a sudden,
I heard him yelp and looked around and saw the alligator swimming out in the pond with him.
without a flinch, Rick ran right into the pond.
I just wasn't going to let it have my puppy for breakfast.
Eventually, he was able to free Gunner from the gator's mouth,
Grabs that alligator with his bare hands, opens its jaws.
all while keeping that cigar in his mouth.
I just clamped down, I guess, on the cigar. I didn't even realize when I came up out of the water that I still had it in my mouth.
The Lee County Sheriff's Office acknowledging Gunner's bravery today, making him part of the deputy dog's team.
Gunner wins the battle against the alligator, and for that, it's a happy day because Gunner gets a gold shield.
Gunner's new title, Detective.
We're looking so forward to the program and helping needy people, and I think he's going to be a good representative.
Now the 4-month-old pup and his owners will assist the Lee County Sheriff's Office teaching children about safety.
Gunner is going to educate children on all safety aspects throughout Lee County. School bus safety, safety as it relates to the water, alligators in the ponds, animals, toads, cane toads, all types of dangers that children face every day.
Well, clear skies here on this Wednesday afternoon. A notable warm-up out there today, sitting at 54 right now in Florence. And that warming trend continues heading into the weekend. I'll have your certified most accurate forecast next at 4:30.
Live, local, late breaking. This is WMBF News at 4:30.
One school district in the PD is now back to entirely online learning as coronavirus cases spread. Cameron Crowe joins us live with a check-in on the virtual instruction. And one college announcing the reopening of a program to help students and staff most in need, just in time for the holiday season. One organizer says it is so important. Thanks for being here at 4:30. I'm Meredith Heeline. It's a frosty start to the morning, but the good news is our First Alert weather team says it won't be quite as bitter when you wake up tomorrow. Chief Meteorologist Jamie Arnold explains in his certified most accurate forecast.
And you're still going to need that jacket if you're going to be heading out early in the day on Thursday. However, you're not going to need to be hunting down that frost scraper or taking a couple of extra minutes to defrost the car. That frost not going to be nearly as thick. Certainly a beautiful finish to this Wednesday. Skies are mostly clear here as we work our way towards sunset. And while we do return into the 30s tonight, it's not as cold as it was last night. In fact, notice well above freezing here across the beaches. 38 tonight in North Myrtle and Myrtle's Inlet, 39 for Myrtle Beach, 38 for Loris, Conway and Aner. Going to see those temperatures dropping into the mid-30s. And interior sections of Horry County likely to deal with at least a little bit of that patchy frost. Patchy frost and temperatures in the low to mid-30s across the PD as well. However, tomorrow we continue that trend of a warm-up with temperatures with plenty of sunshine climbing their way towards 60 and nearing 70 by the weekend. A couple of shower chances this weekend, though. I'll take a closer look at that coming up in my full forecast.
Florence School District 3, which serves the southern part of Florence County, recently decided to temporarily resume solely virtual learning. This is due to the spread of COVID-19. WMBF News reporter Cameron Crowe spoke with the district superintendent about the importance of being flexible in this unusual semester, and he's live now with this story. Cameron, good afternoon.
Meredith, students are more than a week into the virtual learning format, and Florence 3 made the decision to slow the spread of COVID-19, especially during the holidays. Superintendent Laura Hickson says full virtual learning is only temporary, but especially with numbers rising, the best decision right now for the safety of students and staff is to have virtual instruction. Since Florence 3 is an e-learning district, Hickson says students and staff were prepared to switch back to virtual learning. Back when they were planning for this semester, Hickson says they put in place contingencies because they knew there was a possibility for changes due to the pandemic. As Florence 3 brings students back to the classroom in the spring, she says they'll continue to stick to their plan and continue to be flexible.
That focuses on safety, and it also focuses on teaching and learning. So we're going to continue to implement that plan, and we will continue to be flexible because we know that things can happen and change from day to day.
Florence 3 students will return to the classroom on January 5th. Reporting live in Lake City, I'm Cameron Crowe, WMBF News.
Coastal Carolina University's game against BYU this past weekend was not only the biggest win in program history, it was one of the biggest games to ever air on ESPNU. A news release from the Sports Network today says nearly 1.5 million people watched the top 25 showdown Saturday night, making it the 5th most watched game on the channel ever and the most watched since 2015. Before the game, ESPN's College Game Day was also in Conway for the first time, bringing national attention to the contest. The Myrtle Beach Pelicans will remain a minor league affiliate for the Chicago Cubs, but the level of affiliation will be changing. In a release posted on Twitter earlier, the Cubs announced the Pelicans will return as the club's low-A minor league team. Myrtle Beach had previously served as the advanced A team for Chicago. We've reached out to the Pelicans front office about how this move could affect the organization. We'll be sure to keep you updated. And for more details on the Pelicans' history in minor league baseball, you can find this story on WMBFnews.com. Or Georgetown Technical College held the grand reopening of the HGTC pantry on campus this afternoon. The program helps provide non-perishable food and personal care items to students and staff free and confidentially. The HGTC pantry is available on each of the school's 3 campuses. And one of the organizers says the system is crucial for helping those in need make it through this holiday season.
Our students are definitely struggling through the pandemic. Our student affairs provides a lot of support here to the students while they're taking classes, and we've seen an increase in the need. And so it'll help them get through their daily studies, their life, taking care of their families.
Students can also submit an order online for food from the pantry and pick up the prepared order to avoid as much contact as possible. Don't forget, again, you can help rescue Christmas this holiday season for families in need here at home. Just head to our website, WMBFnews.com. That's where you'll see all the different ways you can do your part this year, from adopting an angel of your own to even helping ring some bells. Again, that's WMBFnews.com. Just click on the Operation Rescue Christmas icon on the home page. WMBF News at 4:30. We'll be right back. Even with the pandemic this year, Santa is still making the rounds across the country. His visit in one California town was a little different this year, but he made sure to get out and see the kids with a little help from the police. Stacey Butler explains.
34, Sam 4. Santa's sleigh has just landed, and I've got eyes on him now.
It wasn't their usual call.
Merry, Merry Christmas.
Nice to see you. But when Santa's sleigh rode through Tustin city streets.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Thanks for coming to see Santa. Police had no choice but to follow.
I heard the siren, so I ran outside.
Love you, Santa.
Oh, I love you too. Merry Christmas.
I'm like, oh gosh, Santa's coming.
I'll be back to see you.
For 22 years, Tustin police have escorted Chris Kringle as he stopped in neighborhoods and welcomed children onto his sleigh. But this year, COVID almost put a kibosh on his Christmas plan. Instead of giving up, Santa and Mrs. Claus decided to show up anyway. Only this year, they kept the sleigh moving.
Merry Christmas.
The kids hated to not be able to come up and see Santa, but for Santa, Santa's got to be careful because I got to go back and see the elves.
These kids couldn't be happier.
Be good, kids.
I thought that maybe he wasn't coming because COVID, so when I saw him, I was so excited.
Be good, kids.
We wanted to see him a lot, and I just really, really loved it.
Merry Christmas.
I liked when he was just coming around the corner. I got really surprised, and I was so happy.
Tonight was so special for me because this year we're not taking the kids to see Santa with COVID and everything. So this is the only shot they got.
Merry Christmas!
I think it's really wonderful because right now with COVID-19, it's just great to have a moment of, hey, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas!
Nothing will stop Christmas, not even COVID.
Right there, Merry Christmas!
Well, as we work our way closer towards the weekend, we are going to see those temperatures continuing to go up, but also tracking that risk of a couple of weekend showers. And we may have a stronger storm system that tries to sneak its way in here as we head into early next week. Running through all this coming up next in my First Alert forecast.
It's been a book, animated special, and even a big screen movie. Now Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas is getting the musical treatment with a production airing tonight right here on WMBF. Mark Barker talked with the man who plays the title character about taking on the iconic role.
I abhor Christmas trees and I scorn every wreath.
To get into the spirit of playing the Grinch, Matthew Morrison did not have to look too far.
2020. There's a lot of people out there that feel particularly Grinchy this year, so it was kind of easy to pull upon the collective global sorrow that is going on.
The pandemic has sidelined many actors, including Morrison, for months on end.
You hate Christmas Eve, the whole Christmas season.
So when the opportunity that did come along happened to be a musical about an iconic character, all the better.
It was a challenge for me, honestly. I don't live in that kind of anger and darkness that he has.
We're not here to enjoy ourselves.
Safety protocols prevented the London-based production from being performed live, so a month of rehearsals in masks made for jarring moments come showtime.
It was like I was seeing these people for the first time. We show so much expression in just little ticks of our mouth or our nose, you know, so it was really, it felt very fresh and live and in the moment.
And as dad to now 3-year-old son Revel, Morrison discovered one unexpected bonus out of his role.
We wake up and we're like, oh, Revel, you have grinchy breath. And that gets him to brush his teeth. So real teachable moments, you know?
One small lesson among the Grinch's bigger ones about the spirit of the season. Mark Barker, NBC News.
Now the certified most accurate forecast from First Alert Chief Meteorologist Jamie Arnold.
Well, not as cold, not as frosty. If you're going to be heading out around sunrise on Thursday, notice temperatures tomorrow morning into the upper 30s, so that frost confined mainly to areas just inland from the beaches. But look at those temperatures, 57 by lunchtime and up to 60 for a high temperature tomorrow. We'll see another round of sunny skies through the day, and that warming trend continues with those temperatures up to 66 Friday and then well into the upper 60s as we head into the weekend. However, especially late Saturday into Sunday, there will be that risk for a couple of showers. And then we'll also start to see our next little bit of a cool down arriving as we work our way into early next week with temperatures dropping back down to the 50s. But kind of a question mark here, especially in that Monday to Tuesday time frame. May see a more significant storm system that tries to bring us a better chance of rain, but not really a lot of agreement among our forecast models on this one. This is the European forecast model for Monday. Got widespread rain, temperatures into the 40s around here during the day Monday. GFS says, yeah, not a chance. It's keeping that system well out here out over the Atlantic Ocean, giving us 50s and sunshine for Monday. So we've got a ways to go to kind of fine tune that forecast. But for now, just keep in mind things may turn eventually a bit wetter as we head into early next week. Overnight tonight, though, it is dry, chilly, but not as cold as last night with those temperatures dropping down to 39. There's that nice warm up, though, as we head into Thursday afternoon. Lots of bright sunshine and temperatures topping out at 60. Then your Myrtle Beach 7-day forecast showing that 66 coming in here for Friday with a couple more clouds, but overall really nice finish to the work week. 67 on Saturday, and any showers we see Saturday likely hold off until after sunset. And there's that 30% chance of a couple of showers on Sunday. Despite that, though, quite mild. Temperatures in the upper 60s to near 70. And right now we've got a 30% chance in here for Monday with temperatures in the 50s. If this forecast trends more towards the European model, that would be much higher rain chances and much lower temperatures. So we're going to have to watch that part of the forecast. And then either way, we do start to break out back into sunshine Tuesday and Wednesday, but keep things again on the cool side.
Doctors at Baylor Hospital in Dallas just performed their 1,000th heart transplant. It serves as a reminder that the gift of life is as powerful now as it's ever been. Here's Bianca Castro.
For the first time, Carol and Jim Jimerson listened to their son Jacob's heart
Bless you, Jacob.
beating inside Kennedy Nugatow.
I cried so much. That was our son. So we want him to beat hard and pump well for Kennedy. Provide him a great life.
Kennedy was only 22 when he was diagnosed with heart failure. When other treatments failed, doctors put Kennedy on the heart transplant waiting list. Around the same time, 25-year-old Jacob Jimerson of Las Vegas died in an accidental drug overdose.
Our son, unbeknownst to us, had selected that option to donate his organs. We were so devastated that we could only see that this might be the only good thing to come out of the tragedy that Carol and I were suffering at the time.
Kennedy waited only 4 days for the heart that would save his life. The transplant happened a year ago. Since then, the Jimersons and Kennedy had only ever spoken over the phone and social media.
I always think about them every day.
Sad moment, but important to our family and to his family.
Until a few weeks ago, when the Jimersons flew to Dallas to meet Kennedy in person.
Well, he was a good boy, so you be a good guy, okay?
We are so happy that his family doesn't have to go through the tragedy that we did.
Because they pretty much saved my life. It gave me a second chance of life to continue on to spread the positivity.
The two families now bound forever by a selfless act, a decision to donate life.
People have significant allergic reactions should not get the coronavirus vaccine as soon as they can. This is all according to the United Kingdom's Medicine and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency. That advice comes after 2 members of Britain's National Health Service experienced allergic reactions after receiving the vaccine yesterday. Officials say the 2 did have a past history of allergic reactions and had carried adrenaline auto-injectors. Both are said to now be recovering well. Tomorrow, United States Food and Drug Administration Advisory Committee will discuss and vote on whether to grant emergency use authorization for the Pfizer vaccine in the U.S. A new study shows the COVID pandemic has increased demands on unpaid caregivers. Researchers surveyed 750 Americans who provide care for a loved one with a chronic illness. They found the average time spent caregiving has grown by about 7.5 hours per week since the beginning of this pandemic. In fact, 13% of respondents became a caregiver for the first time, and 1 in 5 of those new caregivers are either Gen Z or millennials. 65% of caregivers say the pandemic has made their job harder, but 88% say it's rewarding to help those in need through these tough times. A new app aims to help facilitate communication in the new normal of this pandemic. Experts say hearing impaired people in particular are having trouble communicating as they can't read lips behind face masks. This app converts spoken words into writing that can be displayed at the same time on 2 devices by swiping on one after speaking. Users can also write directly on the monitors. The software can even translate between 15 languages. The app is being provided at no cost to institutions across the country like hospitals, government offices, and elderly care facilities through June of next year. Hospitals across the country are confronting challenges they've never faced before. And for small town health systems with limited resources and staffing, it can be especially difficult. Scott Gordon reports.
These days, Mineral Wells is decorated for Christmas. And like everywhere, it's also battling COVID. When we last visited in April, only 7 people in all of Palo Pinto County had tested positive. Now, the small county hospital, Palo Pinto General, is overwhelmed.
We started out with 1 or 2 rooms in our ICU that were considered our COVID rooms. Now 6 out of 6 rooms are our COVID rooms.
Its 5 ventilators weren't enough, so the hospital managed to rent 4 more. Only a few beds are left.
And that's it.
Hospital CEO Ross Korkmaz isn't sure what they'll do if more patients show up.
It becomes very scary. It becomes very difficult to handle.
The numbers are startling. Palo Pinto County's population is under 30,000, and it's seen more than 1,300 cases of COVID. That means 1 out of every 22 people here have had the virus. More than 30 have died.
We're doing okay. Our staff, they're tired. They are tired, they're stressed, but overall they are supporting each other.
Amy Waller is chief nurse.
It's the most unique experience I've had in my career, and I've been in nursing over 25 years. I've never seen anything like this before.
You're not immune being in rural Texas from this virus, and the hospitals aren't immune either, and hospitals around us are facing the same challenges we are.
The Texas Organization of Rural and Community Hospitals says their members are holding up, but every week gets harder, and they're being pushed to the absolute limit.
News that vaccines are on the way is providing hope for many healthcare workers. The hospital CEO in Mineral Wells says he hopes to get his employees vaccinated as soon as possible, but those details are still being worked out. He also worries staffers at rural hospitals may not get the vaccine as quickly as their big city counterparts. For the first time, we're hearing exactly who is included in each phase of the state's coronavirus vaccine distribution plan. WMBF investigative reporter Madison Martin breaks down the list provided by Governor Henry McMaster. New at 5 people living in 2 Carolina Forest neighborhoods raising concerns after several shootings. Patrick Lloyd spoke with Horry County Police about what they know so far. Also new at 5, those living in a Myrtle Beach motel need to find a new home after the Aquarius Motel announced it is closing down. Why people there were caught off guard.